Hey everyone, Greg Mitchell from Ultimate Sports Talk here. Um, it is the day after Pele Pro Revelations, and I am still coming down off of the high from that event. What a tremendous night that was. I feel really, really excited and fortunate to have been able to go to that show to begin with. Um, it's not every day that somebody can fly down from Chicago to Texas just as a fan to watch a show. So first of all, I want to thank Pele Pro. Thank you so much for allowing me to come down, for being so hospitable, and continuing to share praise, both ways. It's been awesome to get to know you guys. Thank you so much to all the wrestlers that I've met at Pele Pro. All of you guys were fantastic, very family friendly, very fan friendly, and I'm really really grateful. If you follow me on Twitter at Alt Sports Talk, you can see all the gear and merch that I was able to acquire last night. Um, I think I hit almost all the talent that I possibly could have, and you guys were fantastic the entire time. The matches were great, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But your personalities, how much professionalism there was in that building was just really, really it made my day. So thank you so much for that. And of course, thank you to my wife for allowing me to take this trip. She is back at home in Chicago with my two daughters. So thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. I know it's probably once in a lifetime, but it was a great, great trip. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the review. So you may see my eyes move around on the screen. I am going to bring up Pele Pro's Twitter feed, and try to remember all the amazing things that happened last night. And again, I am going to try to keep this to a shorter video. I don't want to hit the 40-minute mark. So we'll dive right in. First of all, the Davey Richards seminar that they had before the show started. Of course, it wasn't open to fans. It was only to talent that have been trained professional wrestlers. Um, that picture that you guys have on your Twitter feed, it looks like it was a very good turnout for that seminar. A lot of familiar faces that were there. And I'm not sure if this was what happened or not, but it seemed as though anybody who was at the seminar was in the pre-show battle royale. And anyway, so it looks as though it went really well, and I'm glad to see that. I said this multiple times on my Twitter feed. Having the opportunity to get trained by, even for just a fraction of time, by one of the best in the business is just an amazing opportunity. So I'm glad to see that was well attended and that was a major success. So that's great news. Moving along, the pre-match battle royale. It was amazing. A lot of guys that no one's ever heard of, probably, or not very well known. Um, One of the guys that cracked me up at the very beginning, he was one of the bigger guys, but he said he was one of the best, and he's from the guns to the buns, was his major catchphrase. And of course, he was the first one out of the whole thing. I was really hoping to see more from him, but it went really really well. A character by the name of Phil. I apologize, I don't have the last name right off the top of my head, but he was a private detective, I believe, or some sort of lawyer or something. But his finisher was case closed, is the catchphrase he would use, and it was great. It was really really cool. Phil Noor, that's it. I believe that's his name. But it was really cool, and a lot of good talent there. A lot of guys that are clearly still learning, but it was a lot of fun to watch. So I'm glad that they were able to do something like that on the pre-show. And for those of us who were there live, it was a really cool match. The kickoff match of the show, and except for the main event, this was the best match of the night. And Fuego del Sol against Ninja Mac. I mentioned this during my preview episode where I covered the Revelations pay-per-view. It was a fantastic match, and everything that I expected it to be. It was fast paced, action on the inside, action on the outside, high flying moves, just all over the place. These two guys went at it and really really brought it. That was a lot of fun to see. Ninja Mac, even though he did really really well, ended up not getting the victory, so my prediction held up there. Fuego del Sol did end up winning. And the crowd, there was definitely, like I expected, a lot of Fuego del Sol fans. So that was a lot of fun too, to see a riled up crowd. Probably the best match that they could have done at the beginning of the show. It got the fans going. It built up that energy for the rest of the show. And it was really really cool to watch. So I'm glad that I was there for that live. I do want to go back and watch the replay on Title Match Network. um I just want to see if I missed something, because from my angle there were definitely some moves that I couldn't see as well as probably they would have shown on the live video broadcast. But it was still a great match, lots of fun. So that was an amazing match. I'm glad that I could watch that in person. The the second match of the main card was well, actually there was a little segment after that match. So the referee Carl, they announced that he had just I think gotten over 3 decades, if I remember right, of time spent in professional wrestling, and this was going to be his last night. He was retiring from professional wrestling. So that was a real heartwarming segment. There are a lot of fans that have been at Pele Pro shows for a while. There in the stands, and they know who Carl is, and that was really really cool. A lot of "Thank you, Carl" chants there during that segment, and then I think also throughout the night. So that was great. Now, unfortunately, that segment was interrupted by Nastico, the best manager. Um, he interrupted it and basically said that there was another show that didn't happen, and Carl was supposed to be at it. And because of that, Carl owes Nastico. There's no way that Nastico will allow him to retire until he pays up. So that segment ended, and it was a preview of things to come. The next match was a tag team match. It was originally supposed to be Corey O'Neill and Isaiah Bronner against Ryan Justice and Justin Taylor, now dubbed West Texas Legacy. They did say that Bronner was not able to attend due to travel issues. So he was replaced last minute by Eddie Martinez. And I believe Eddie Martinez has been on other Pele Pro shows. I think maybe one other, if I remember right, because I do recognize him, or I did recognize him last night. But other than maybe one or two matches, I apologize that I'm not that familiar with him. But he was good, and Corey was really good. I was impressed with how well West Texas Legacy teamed. they that was the story during the preview episode that we talked about, because those two, Ryan Justice and Justin Taylor, have a history of not basically of beating each other up. They faced each other a number of times. They genuinely have a dislike for each other, and now they had to put those differences aside to become a team, and it was great. This match went really, really well. Kudos to Ryan Justice. I think honestly, I think he was probably the star of the match. He he got beat up a lot, but the role that he played was to get that sentimental feeling that from the fans. Gosh, he's getting beat up all the time. Corey's destroying him. Eddie's destroying him. They won't let him get to the corner. That getting that sympathy from the fans. They told that story really, really well, and Ryan played that part to a T. And I loved Justin Taylor's reactions too. Like, come on, Ryan, come here, just tag me. Um, he brings a really cool intensity. And I said this on Twitter, I believe, a couple of months ago, but I'm gonna reiterate it. And I think it's probably even better now. Justin Taylor is really fit now, compared to what I saw, early on in Pele Pro on TV or on Title Match Network, and watching last night, even watching in the September show, but watching last night, this dude has hit the gym. Whatever fitness regimen he's doing is really, really working. I am so pleased with his progress. He's been doing fantastic. He's definitely putting in the work. So it was so great to see these guys compete. I saw the post match interview that they posted on Twitter. Corey and Eddie agreed. This is a one-time thing. It's probably best for us to part ways. But it seemed amicable. There were no hard feelings or anything. But I do want to see Corey and Bronner team up again. I'd love to see what that original match would look like, because I do think that would be a fantastic showing. So that was good. It was a fun match. Great to see. Next up was Jay Alexander, the purveyor of violence. And like I said last video during the preview, he brings a very next level amount of intensity to the ring. And he did that again. He took on Travis Titan, and in my predictions, I said I don't think that Travis Titan can really match up to the level of intensity that Jay Alexander can bring. And I really underestimated Travis Titan, to be honest, and to be fair to him. He really brought it in that match. Jay Alexander definitely was the stronger of the two. In some cases, I think probably speed and agility, they were very, very close to each other. But Jay Alexander was the stronger, and so it was a different level of match. You don't have one guy who is significantly better than the other. They really had to outsmart each other and outplan each other. A lot of strategy going into the match, and that I think is where Travis Titan really excelled. He was able to put himself in situations where he could get moves in that Jay Alexander wasn't expecting. But right as it was looking like Jay Alexander was going to get the win, he was going on a serious run. Then Nastico came out, and you can probably guess who the referee was during this match. It was Carl. So that was a nice little prelude to the finish. Travis Titan hit a move right on Jay Alexander, right by the ropes. Jay Alexander put his right foot up on the rope, and Carl counted 1, 2, saw the foot on the rope, paused for a second, and then reluctantly tapped one more time, 3, and called Travis Titan the winner. Um, it was a unique finish, told a really good story. Um, kind of brought everything full circle from the beginning of the show into into that match. And then there was a nice little kind of tug at the fans' hearts. Nastico got in and he put out his hand, shake my hand, we're going to team up, kind of thing. And then Travis Titan looked like he was going to get out. He was listening to the fans. The fans were saying no, 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 and then he decided, he came back in and shook his hand, and the crowd went nuts. Boo! It was crazy. But I guess we've got our next new team, duo. The last time that happened was with Cam Cole, and that turned into a championship run. So who knows what's going to happen with Travis Titan and with Nastico there by his side. But it was a good match. Gave me a very different level of respect for Jay Alexander and his ability to work. It was fun to watch. So far, a lot of really good matches to start the show. Let's see, the next match, Battle of the Big Men. So this match was originally scheduled to be a triple threat. It was supposed to be Jim Fitz against Apex and Gideon Vane also being there. The graphic was up on the screen. It was supposed to be those three, and Jim Fitz, actually Apex comes out first, which I was completely surprised that was Apex, because normally he has a mask on. He had no mask last night. I got on his Twitter feed late last night when I got back to the hotel, and now there's images of him without the mask, and with and without. So I don't know if that's something that he's trying to work through. What is the character? But I really liked it without the mask, to be honest. You get to see. I think the part that I liked the best about it, from a fan's perspective, was that you get to see his facial reactions. He has a really intense face, and his eyes are what help tell the story during the match. So being able to see his face and see the different reactions that he has during the match was really, really a good change of pace. It was different for what a normal Apex match looks like. At least, again, I've only ever seen him on Title Match Network or Fight TV, but it was good. I liked it. It was a nice change of pace. So he comes out, Jim Fitz comes out. Everybody loved Jim Fitz, mainly I think because Jim Fitz was one of the few wrestlers there before the show, kind of walking around, talking to the fans, talking to the kids. He was taking selfies with some of the fans. It was very, very cool to see it now. And exactly what I said before in the predictions episode, man, he looks like Big Show. I mean, he's massive, and the bald head with, well, I guess he's not completely bald, but on top it's bald. On the side, I think he's got some stubble or whatever, and then he's got the beard. So he definitely looks like a throwback Big Show. He's massive. Funny story. Before the event started, I went and used the restroom. I was in one urinal. There were 3 urinals. I was on the right hand most one. The one all the way to the left was the kids urinal. Here comes big Jim Fitz. Me, I'm 5'7", over on the other side, taking up one of the bigger stalls. And here's big Jim Fitz going to the restroom, and he's probably 6'7", 6'8", maybe. Massive guy. And I'm like, I'll trade you if we did. And he just laughed it off. But he's a good dude, really good dude. I wasn't sure what shirt he was wearing in his promo pictures or whatever you want to call them. But seeing it in person, he's wearing a Bible Club shirt, which is very similar to the Bullet Club logo, but Bible inspired, obviously. And that was really awesome. A lot of Christianity themes throughout the night. Before the show, the owner came out, kind of pepped up the crowd, but announced that they were going to do a couple of things. One of the nice things that they did was they did a 10 bell salute for Scott Hall. He recently deceased. And there was another individual. I apologize, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it was an individual who in September's card for Pele Pro was one of the officials who had worked the event, and he unfortunately also passed away. So they did a really nice, heartwarming 10 bell salute for both of them, which was nice. But then the owner also did a really, really cool prayer before the event. You don't see a lot of that sometimes, even in sports and in general. And it was a different feel. But I felt, whether you're a Christian or you're not, it brought a different perspective and a different feel to the show. I really liked it. It was good. I'm glad that they did it. It kind of helps differentiate themselves from other shows and other promotions. So I liked it. It was good. But yeah, so Big Jim Fitz and Apex, and then Gideon Vane does not show up. There's nothing, and nobody even seems to realize that there's supposed to be a third person in there. I'm looking around like, okay, is the music gonna play? What's going on? And then they ring the bell. I'm thinking, okay, I am completely surprised because Gideon Vane has been on every single Pele Pro show, I think, since they started. I can't remember one show that he didn't do. He is a staple of Pele Pro, just like Chandler Hopkins. So that really took me by surprise. The match itself, exactly what I thought it was going to be. Two giant guys just going at it, and I was impressed with Apex. I kind of expected that Jim Fitz was going to be the stronger guy of the whole thing when it was originally supposed to be a triple threat, and Apex matched him move for move. I mean, that guy is strong. You can say what you want about his physique. He doesn't come across like he's the most fit person, and he probably isn't, but he can go in the ring, and his strength is super, super impressive to be able to do the things that he was doing with somebody that size, like a Jim Fitz. Amazing. So kudos to him, and these two guys put on a really good match. It was fun. They got the crowd into it. They both played their parts. It was a good guy versus a bad guy. Two beefy guys just slapping each other around, slamming each other around. I think there was if I remember right, I think there was a superplex off the top rope. No, I don't think it was Apex got up onto the top rope, and he was going to dive off and do it seemed like some sort of like swanton type move, and Jim Fitz rolled out of the way. The impact of that move against the ring, oh my, what, I mean, you could see the ring bounce because of how much weight there was moving and how hard it hit the ring. So wow, it was great. Again, another one that I want to go back and watch on Title Match Network when the replay is up, because I have a feeling that it looks just as good as it was in person. Jim Fitz ended up picking up the victory. I forget exactly his words after the match, but he said something along the lines of, God is the reason why he's doing what he's doing, something to that effect. And it was really cool. Again, another great sympathetic thing for the fans, and different feel for the show, different feel for a character that large. That um, there's some openness and honesty with that character, with him as a person. So it was nice. I really appreciated it. All right. The next match, I believe. Sorry, I'm scrolling through Pele Pro's timeline. Um, so yeah, I believe the next match was the co-main event. This was Khan against Izzy James, and it was everything I thought it was going to be. Khan is just massive, and you look at some of his moves that he does. You see other people do a clothesline, and it's just a clothesline. Um, but when Khan does it, he hits with such ferocity that it almost decapitates the other guy. I mean, they get lifted off their feet and slammed down on the ground. Something that's, I mean, he is, and I'm talking about a clothesline in the corner. I'm not talking about a clothesline where he gets a running head start off the ropes or something. Like he gets a full head of steam on somebody, goes corner to corner. That guy's going to be lucky if he can get up after that. It's serious moves. It was funny. There was a lady sitting right next to me. Her and her husband. It was their very first show. They'd never been to a live professional wrestling show before, and so they were trying to, like, the husband was 100% into it. The wife was trying to figure out, like, what is this and what am I supposed to do and why are we cheering, why are we booing things. But towards the end of the night, she really got into it too, and she even, like, whispered something over to her husband at one point, like, I think they're hitting each other for real. And I just, like, smiling, like, yeah, this stuff hurts, man. This is not a joke. Con goes. And I really liked, there was another group of kids. There's probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10 of them. Um, a whole bunch of black kids, maybe some Latino kids too. But they were all, like, in a group together behind me, towards the back left of where I was sitting. And they were loving Khan. After the show was over, when Khan came out and he was selling merch at his table, um, all these kids are running up to him, slapping his hand, like you would have thought he was The Rock, man. I mean, this dude is a star. He is a star. And he comes across like he's supposed to be a bad guy, but it's almost like he is Khan. What, it doesn't matter who he's facing, if they're a good guy or a bad guy, he's Khan. He's going to do his moves. He's going to wrestle his match. You're either going to like him or you're not. He doesn't really care. And at the end of it, every time I see it, the fans are loving it, are loving themselves some Khan. So I was blown away at that. I really wasn't sure what to expect, what kind of crowd reaction there was going to be. It was my first live con match, and kudos though to Izzy James. He took a lot of that punishment and kept moving. He he was faster than Khan, and there were a lot of different examples of where he could use his quickness and agility to get out of the way of certain things so that he could hit a move. I think he did go up top a couple of times, maybe a crossbody and some sort of other move I can't remember, honestly. But he was really going and really trying. There was a lot of back and forth throughout the match. It wasn't just a complete con pounding on Izzy James, but Izzy brought it, and these guys made it an awesome match. I was shocked. I really didn't expect this to be the match that it was. I thought Khan was going to come out. He was just going to absolutely destroy Izzy James, and that was going to be it. It was going to be a 5-minute squash match and, nothing. But they had back and forth. They told an awesome story. It was great. It was really, really fun. So I'm so happy that that happened. I'm glad that I could see that. I'm glad that I could see him outside of the ring. Just from a fan's perspective, those kids loved him, man. And the smile on his face, as he's giving these kids high fives and stuff. Oh man, like that's what, when you know when kids usually are getting into professional wrestling, watching it, they find somebody that becomes their hero. It's like a real life superhero, that they want to get behind. That's the guys like when I was growing up, the Rock, Stone Cold, sometimes Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart. You see these real life guys doing some of the most amazing things. And what I took away from it too, and I think it just happened to be that it was all a group of minority kids, but I think, white kids, if they were there, I think they would have probably had the same reaction. I think there probably were some, but they were scattered throughout. This was a group of kids that were all there, it seemed like, together. But what I took away from it was that these guys, these kids, had representation. They had somebody that looked like them, that felt like them, that told the story like they would want the story to be told. I and that made me really, really happy to see that. Um, you know, I hope that there's more of that in professional wrestling, because seeing those kids with smiles on their faces, and when Khan was down chanting his name, that's what professional wrestling is all about. There's a story, there's a feeling that even little kids feel for the people who are doing the work. um, it was awesome, very, very cool. So Khan ended up winning. My prediction was right, although the match that I predicted was wrong. I thought that it was just going to be a quick one, but it was not. It was a good, decent match, that was very worthy of a co-main event spot. So as I was talking about that, I realized I did skip a match. The match that I skipped was Mysterious Q against Malico. And Malico was everything I thought he was going to be. Even before the event, when I went up and was able to get a photo with him, an autograph photo and everything, just talking to him, I think he lives this character. He lives and breathes this character. I never saw him without his face paint. I never saw him without his high-pitched, quirky voice that he does. Whenever fans would come up to his table, he'd do the eye roll thing. The eyes go back in his head, and or he'd look off to the side and make a weird face and stuff, like Malico type of reactions. The match too, exactly what I thought it was going to be. Malico was, he threatened to quit at one time because he said, I'm not going to fight, or I don't work out once a month, so that I can get out muscled by you. And Mysterious Q responds back, I don't even work out. And he's like, what? I quit. I quit. I'm done. It was a blast, man. So much awesome comedy in the match, but yet still so much awesome moves. And the story was good. I keep going back to the story, but the story really sells the match for me. They told a good story. You had one guy going against another guy. You didn't really know what to expect from Malico. You know, Mysterious Q, you knew what to expect. He can go, he can wrestle, he can hit moves from anywhere. He's got the strength over pretty much everybody that he faces. He's awesome. That's what the story was. So, you know, there were tricks and things that Malico would use to get Q off his game and to hit moves. And so the fans are thinking like, maybe he's got a chance. He might actually win this thing. You know, and it was great. I loved it. So Mysterious Q ends up winning the match. And the match ends, you know, Malico's off to the side. He's like right in front of me by the steps. And all of a sudden this music comes on and nobody knows what's going on. And then all of a sudden out comes Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Promotions. And he's got the giant championship on his shoulder. Man, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. I had no idea. Like, they had announced that there were going to be some surprises, but I never thought this was going to be the surprise. This was incredible. So Shane Taylor, long story short, starts talking up Q, says, you know, he's underutilized, disrespected in the business. He's so much better than how he's being treated. Time to join Shane Taylor Promotions. Gets in the ring, says, you just have to shake my hand. Q places his hand on his shoulder. No. And Shane Taylor lays a beat down, man. It was impressive. So I'm sure that's setting up some match between the two of them in the future. If that happens, that will be a must-see match. I need to see that match. That was great. So that was fun. And then after that was the co-main event. So the final match of the night, the main event, Cam Cole defending his title in a triple threat match against Davey Richards and Chandler Hopkins. And oh my goodness, did this deliver. This was such an amazing match. I did get part of what I had mentioned in my predictions video. I thought they were going to try to isolate Davey Richards off to the side and get that, you know, get it mainly between Chandler Hopkins and Cam Cole, because it's hard to do the Davey Richards style where you know, target a limb and you wear somebody down over time, when you can have the other person who's not being worked interfere and break it up. So that's not the best of strategies when you're trying to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that Davey Richards wasn't able to go for submissions, because he did. And there was even a really cool spot where he had Chandler Hopkins in a submission, and then like a inverted figure four type thing. It was really, really cool. He does this in a lot of his matches, and I never know what the name of the move is. But the legs are intertwined, and he's just putting a lot of pressure on the knee. And then in comes Cam Cole to try to break it up, and he turns Cole over while he's still got Chandler Hopkins in the submission, and he turns that into an ankle lock, and he's got two submissions on both guys at the same time, and the fans are just eating it up, man. It was It was great. It was so great. Um, so a lot of back and forths. The match was fantastic. At one point, Cam Cole ended up hitting Davey Richards over the head with the title, um, due to assistance from the best manager, Nastico. But that was cool. And then I think there was a surprise roll up, if I remember right, or a surprise finisher into a pin on. So Cam Cole ended up beating Chandler Hopkins for the 1-2-3, pinning him. Afterwards, they did announce that Cam Cole and Chandler Hopkins were going to face each other at the May event for Pele Pro. The match is going to be a very special stipulation. If Chandler Hopkins loses, his career in Pele Pro is over. If Cam Cole loses, not only does he lose the title, but he also has to shave his hair, which he loves his hair. So very cool stipulation. I'm very much looking forward to the May event. They set up a lot of different stories that they can go to in the next show to build things up. I'm excited to see what talent they bring out. So the next event is called Exodus, the Showdown, and they've got a giant poster on their Twitter of Chandler Hopkins facing Cam Cole. It looks like announced talent. So they've got MLW's Holiday, Khan, Fuego del Sol, Davey Richards, Shane Taylor, and Malico all showing on the poster for the May 7th event. They'll be back at Grace Preparatory Academy. They're in Arlington, Texas. And of course, the show should be available on Title Match Network and Fight TV as well. So awesome build up to the event. Incredible surprise with Shane Taylor, the pre-show all the way through to the main event, and then afterwards the talent staying around to meet with a lot of the fans, sell some merch. That was very, very cool. So I'm so glad that I was able to go to the show. An incredible event. I left on a high. I still have a high from it. You could tell probably from watching the video. I just get really, really excited talking about it because the matches, the talent, the just the aura and the environment with the fans and everything. It was so much fun. So much fun. So glad if you are in the Arlington area or you're even, an hour or two away, make the trip. Go to a Pele Pro show. It will not disappoint you. It is very, very worth it. So I highly recommend going to any Pele Pro show that you can go to. We've mentioned the Exodus show. I'm sure they're already selling their tickets on PelePro.com. You can visit their website, check them out on social media. Get your tickets or pre-order on Fight TV, or get that membership for a title match and watch it live May 7th. That's going to be an awesome, awesome show. Thanks, everybody. I'm not sure how long this one was. Probably a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but it was a nice recap, and still does not do the event justice. So definitely go back and watch. It is worth your time to do so. And everyone have a great day or morning, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Have a good one. Thank you so much for watching. You can support our channel and what we're doing. You can visit us on our website at ultimatesportstalk.com. You can like and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave some comments in this video if there's things that you'd like to see done differently. If you like or don't like certain things, definitely open to your suggestions and feedback. But you can also follow us on Twitter at Alt Sports Talk. Very interactive with fans. We love the pro wrestling community, love the sports community. So feel free to reach out to us. We can chat sports all day. So love to meet you virtually and say our hellos and talk about anything sports related. So thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, this is Greg Mitchell with Ultimate Sports Talk. Thank you.